A lot of people say you can't improve at LSAT reading comp. The good news is they're wrong. You can improve, and in this video, I'll show you exactly how. First, for those who don't know me, my name is Steve Schwartz. I've been teaching the LSAT since 2005, and I personally increased my own LSAT score from a 152 to a 175. Now first, let's talk about why reading comp trips up so many people and why it seems hard. The thing is, reading comp passages aren't casual reading. They're not The Economist. They're not Scientific American, contrary to what some would advocate that you read. LSAT reading comp passages are written specifically by LSAC for the purpose of tripping you up. That's why the language is so abstract, why they include so many technical terms, and why the language is so dense. But the good news is that LSAT reading comp is not about memorizing facts. You don't have to get every single little detail. It's about identifying the core structure, understanding the arguments presented, and evaluating the evidence. And these are skills that you can build with practice. It's not based on any innate ability that you have. And if you follow the strategies that I'm going to share with you today, you'll be able to finish passages with a clear understanding of the key ideas and arguments presented. You'll know exactly where to look when you're answering the questions, and most importantly, you'll minimize wasted time while maintaining the highest possible accuracy, getting you the highest possible LSAT score. Now, you've got to be patient. You've got to slow down to speed up as you read the passage. A lot of people and a lot of prep companies will advocate that you rush through the passage to save time for the questions. But the truth is that if you spend more time up front actually understanding the passage, actually understanding what you're reading, it'll make the process of answering the questions faster and easier. I can't tell you how many times that I talk with a student and they got a question wrong, and then I ask them, I say, what did the passage actually say? They go back to the text and they're able to get it right. I don't even need to say anything more than that. So after you read each paragraph in a reading comp passage, pause. Ask yourself, what was the key idea? And how does this relate to the previous paragraph? If you take the time to pause and reflect, it'll keep you focused and help you better understand the structure of the passage. You also want to make sure that you can follow multiple viewpoints or arguments presented in the passage. One common reading comp structure is that of a debate, where one side argues one position, the other side takes an opposing stance, and your job is to figure out, first off, just what are the two positions and which side, if any, is the author themselves supporting. You also want to make sure that your note-taking method actually works under the time constraints of the exam itself. A lot of students get bogged down taking far too many notes or using the highlighting and underlining tools on LSAC's website, which actually don't work that well. And the thing is, it takes time to write things down. It takes time to read what you've written. It takes time to highlight and underline. And a lot of the note-taking that you do may not actually be useful for solving the questions, or even if it is, it may not work under the strict time constraints of the LSAT. And so I recommend keeping it as minimal as possible. At least that's what has worked for me and my students. A lot of the top performers don't actually mark anything at all. So over time, you might want to consider playing with the idea of marking less and less over time, just marking down one or two key phrases that summarize the passage. And if you would like my help in developing a note-taking approach that actually works on LSAT reading comp when it comes to performing under timed conditions, my team and I would be glad to help you out. At LSAT Unplugged, we offer live online classes via Zoom, on-demand video courses, small group coaching, and one-on-one coaching. And we can focus with you primarily or even exclusively with you on LSAT reading comp if that is what would be helpful for you. You can check out the links below to find out more and to book a call with me and my team. Again, we'd be glad to help you out. Now, when you are interpreting the questions in LSAT reading comp, be very careful about answer choices that contain extreme language like always, never, or must. Chances are these are probably wrong unless the passage itself explicitly supports a strong viewpoint like that. All else being equal, you want to gravitate towards more moderate language that is more likely to have been supported by the stimulus, like sometimes or might, than extreme language that is less likely to have been supported. You also don't want to get bogged down on tough questions. Every question on the LSAT is worth the same, so you don't want to get stuck debating between two choices for 5 minutes or anything like that. If a question is tough, if you're getting stuck or bogged down in LSAT quicksand, flag it, skip it, come back to it later. And you don't want the stress of having potentially gotten that question wrong to impact your performance on the rest of the section. You don't need to get every single question right on the LSAT in order to get a top score. Instead, you want to maximize the points you can reasonably achieve within the time limit and aim to get better and better over time with every passage, with every section, every exam that you take. Now, when you are reviewing your performance on LSAT Reading Comp, if you find that you're struggling with big picture global questions like main idea or primary purpose, you may want to practice summarizing paragraphs to make sure that you understand exactly what the passage is communicating and what the key points are, making sure that you can filter out any unnecessary details. A lot of students skip this step and end up getting bogged down in the details, in the evidence, in the supporting examples, but drilling main ideas is one of the most effective ways to improve your reading comprehension skills. Anyway, folks, that's all for now. I hope you found the video helpful. Again, if you'd like my help on LSAT Reading Comp or anything else on your journey to achieving a top LSAT score, feel free to reach out. My team and I would be glad to support you. And in the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.